Welcome back, everybody, to Comic Shop Talk on the Late Night Collectors community. I'm your host, Nico, and joined with me today, as always, is my co-host, Chris. How you doing, man?
Hey guys, what's happening?
Welcome back to another episode. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, that thumbs up, hit the notification bell if you want to be notified of when these shows do come out. Regularly, they try to get them out there for Saturday every week. We always put up the show notes there for you guys. Just in case, what you are going to be talking about the books here today that we do review, there might be spoilers involved. We try to do our best not spoiling the big things for you guys when it comes to talking about the books. But sometimes, we do have to get into it, or we wish to kind of talk about the things that happen in the book. So spoiler warning for you guys, but the show notes are up there for you guys if you want to navigate through, maybe avoid certain things we might talk about, or read your books and come back and listen to us. Show notes will always be helpful for you for that. Today, we're going to be talking about and reviewing the books for the week of May 25th, 2022. Pretty good size, decent size week for us. Some exciting new releases. And yeah, without further ado, though, Chris,
That's it. Let's talk comics.
there we go. That was a quick one, getting right into it.
Big list today.
All right. Okay. So let's bring this up here for you guys. First one on the docket, we got Hulk number 7, and I'm just gonna do a quick check on the audio here. Yes. Okay. Just making sure it's coming out of the right spot for my mic here. Okay. There we go. Hulk number 7. Now, this is Banner of War Part 3, the crossover between both the Donny Cates written books right now, Hulk and Thor. Chris, what did you think of this one?
I'm loving this Banner of War. I think it's a great story. It feels sort of fresh to me. I've always heard that, the Thor fights, it's always just like these Thor Hulk fights kind of seem to be, I guess, a little, stagnant, but this all seems new to me here. Seems fresh to me, sorry. And Odin the Hammer is playing a key role in this battle. And all the characters seem to be getting some, getting pushed further and further, getting some great power upgrades, and it's fun to watch or fun to read, I guess.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I think it was off to a bit of a slow start, but this is the best issue of this crossover yet. It seems to be building. Each issue gets better and better. This had a great ending in it, which I won't spoil, but there's some great ramifications for Thor by the end of this issue. That should be interesting.
Oh yeah,
how they play out within the next issue. We don't have to get into it, but something happens with Thor by the end of this one, because most of the issue, this one's basically focused on Tony Stark and his Hulk Buster that he's about to throw down with Hulk once again. As always, is a very Tony Stark type of thing to do. Although
he's like in some celestial armor or something there.
Yeah, because that's what the Avengers had. Their current base was out of the body of a celestial, so I guess he's got like access to some of their technology.
There's a great page right there with the kind of Thor just stepping out.
Yeah, look at this, Chris. Stupid.
Whoa!
Yeah.
What?
Staple popped off when I was reading this, man. Sometimes I get these loose ones like this, and this is unfortunately what happens. I got to be careful, I guess. Maybe I'm reading them too hard. Who knows? But yeah, no, this is great ending. Yeah, I will say this: the only negative thing I'll say about this crossover, and it's not even that bad. Their top tier talent of artists between these two titles sat this one out. Like,
yeah.
That they have doing these books right now were not the artists that obviously were the lead-ins to this event, like the regular series artists on Hulk and on Thor, which are both better artists. I feel like the ones that are currently drawing this crossover, which kind of sucks, but I get it. They need a little bit of time probably to start drawing the next issues for the arc when they do return. Probably.
And that's the bad part, is when they got like a top tier storyline and they can't freaking get the top tier talent. Like, the story carries it. Like, you need a great artist to kind of move this story along, but it would just kind of be, hitting on all points.
Yeah.
Everything that's going on.
That's the thing that kind of sucks. Like, they had great storylines leading into this event, so I guess they couldn't keep that momentum going with the other art teams. But I think that this story is novelty enough of just having these two do this crossover that they're like, oh yeah, we can probably just throw any artist on this. I wouldn't say that. I think these artists aren't bad, but if there was even better artists doing this story, I think this would be even better than it is. Yeah. So. That's the only negative I'll say about this event so far. Just I don't love these artists they got doing it compared to the previous ones. But that being said, yeah, man, this is Hulk is off the leash. It's to kill, not knowing now he's not in the simulation. Iron Man's in trouble in this issue, and it was a hell of a lot of fun. This was a great issue. Great
Yeah,
issue. Oh man, look at that. Yeah. So what'd you give this one, Chris?
I'll give it some. I'll give it a 4. Like bordering on 4.5. I thought this was a great issue.
I'm gonna go for the 4.5 because I've given the last 2 issues of this crossover a 4.
Oh yeah, it's definitely the top.
Yeah,
Okay, you pushed me. You convinced me.
yeah.
I'll give it a 4.5.
That's the way I've been looking at it, Chris, because I'm
Yeah.
like giving this whole thing a 4 the whole way through, but this is the best issue so far. I think the biggest things I think happened so far in this issue out of the crossover so far, and I'm really looking forward to the next one. So yeah, 4.5 for sure.
Or
Yeah,
even just the stuff with, I don't know if they were teasing something with Hulk almost grabbing the hammer, but he wasn't. Like I wasn't too sure what was going on with that, but
yeah.
that was crazy.
Yeah, yeah. So there you go, Hulk 7. Hope you guys are checking out this crossover because this is a really
Yeah.
fun one right
And
now.
it's a nice short crossover too. It's not like it's freaking 20 issues or something. It looks like 5 issues max maybe or something.
Yeah, and the cool thing about it is too, you didn't even have to have read, I would say, either of the titles before it because in
No,
the
no, this is just a battle between Hulk and Thor. Somehow they cross paths and it's time to go.
yeah, so if you guys were reading Thor or Hulk prior to this, all you have to do is pick up that first issue, which is the Alpha issue, and that explains everything that was going on in those series prior to their encounter, like kind of all the baggage that they brought with them into this kind of fight. It goes over all that in that one issue. It's great. So yeah, you don't need to have read that anything previous. So it's a really good jumping on point. Okay, here we go. Devil Reign Omega #1. What, like 2 months later after Devil's Reign?
Yeah.
I was like, originally, I'm sure this was supposed to come out a lot sooner. I'm sure this got hit by delays. Usually, these Omega wrap up issues after an event or like a week or two after the event, and they kind of have like a better,
Yeah, better flow to it.
yeah. But
But
this is,
going through the solicitations, I was really looking forward to this comic.
yeah,
Now that it's come out, whatever, like you say, 2 months later. I think it's a sick cover though, that's for sure.
it's a very nice cover. Yeah, yeah, that is a very cool looking cover for
And,
sure.
for just like, an A cover too. I think it was great.
What'd you
But
think, Chris?
really in all this, not much goes on. It's a nice little, kind of wrapping up all the points of the Devil's Reign, what did I write about? Yeah. It details the ends of the Devil's Reign arc and plots out some new storylines. I thought it was nothing special here. The
Yeah,
only interesting point is the Daredevil intention of going after the Hand, which puts them on a collision course with the Punisher.
I
And
thought
basically, that was just like a blurb, and that's about the only interesting thing in this whole comic.
I thought the same thing, and I'm wondering if those are going to intersect in each other's titles, and I hope that they do, and they don't keep it separate because they even had the lead in for the Punisher in the Daredevil book.
Yeah, so hopefully there's
So,
something going on there.
yeah, I wouldn't be against that because
Yeah, like the Luke Cage stuff is nice, and the new Thunderbolts is nice, but I don't think I'll be buying the Thunderbolts
no,
or whatever other issues that they're trying to push in this or tease or
yeah,
prelude to.
like I said, this would have been a lot more effective, I think, if it came out sooner. But that being said, I felt this main story, it was good.
Yeah,
The backup stories, the other two that were in this issue, the ones that weren't done by Zdarsky and stuff, they were fine too. I mean, it didn't really add too much. I will say though, Zdarsky has a lot of difficult story to figure out ahead of him, how to unpack this whole thing now that like Matt Murdock's dead.
yeah,
Devil's still out there. He still needs to operate as a human being, I would think, outside of the costume. I mean, there's a
yeah.
lot of,
And a lot of people know that if not Matt Murdock in there too. It's not like there's
right.
one person. Like everybody knows Matt Murdock isn't dead.
Yeah, so like it's gonna be interesting to see what he does with this because I feel like he's written himself into like a corner
Yeah,
of sorts, and I'm interested to see what he does with this now because like not that we haven't seen similar type of storylines done in Daredevil before, we certainly have, like with his identity being exposed and this kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm interested to see given the fact that now he's not only been seen as actually killed and dead, and there is a person that is his twin brother that is the guy who's in the coffin. That you know what I mean? Like and
Somehow I think that guy's going to come back to life too. What's that thing that whoever put in the coffin? It looked some magical bean or something like that.
mm-hmm.
I don't know. They just seem to spend a lot of time saying, "Oh, I'm going to leave this in the coffin for you, and a miracle can happen."
Yeah, yeah,
Like
maybe.
maybe not now, maybe not in a year from now, but I think this guy's going to show up somewhere.
Or we're gonna have our own version of a hand resurrection with him or something, right?
Yeah, or, maybe he's going to come back to be a thorn in the side of Matt Murdock because he kind of
I mean,
took
but
advantage of his death so
right.
willingly and so easily.
And it seems like both Elektra and Daredevil are operating as Daredevils now, which is like
Yeah,
like I thought once he came back, she would drop the identity, but like it seems like she just showed up in the Savage Avengers, but like it doesn't seem like
yeah.
it seems like
I think
that's
she just looks good in that Daredevil costume, and they don't want to get rid of it.
I mean, I have nothing against it, but I mean, like, it just seems odd now. Like, I thought she would have, like, once he actually came back into his own main title,
Yeah,
she would have dropped the whole Daredevil thing, right? But I mean, I guess they're keeping her around. I mean, I don't mind her. She looks great in that. I agree, and I like Elektra. I just don't know if there's a certain like if it's needed. I don't know.
yeah.
I mean, so we'll see. I mean, yeah,
I'm down for both of them being Daredevils and running around doing what they do.
yeah, this is the Thunderbolts backup. Yeah, like Chris said, setting up the new Thunderbolts book, and then I guess this is the whatever's going on with Luke Cage. These were fine, but
Yeah,
anyways, what'd you give this overall
I
then?
give it a 3.5.
Same. Yeah, I think the main story was decent, but
Yeah,
we need this Daredevil book to come out. I don't know when it's coming out now. I mean, maybe we'll get
yeah.
into it.
Like it really didn't hype up the Daredevil book. I'm looking forward to Daredevil because I like Daredevil, but this didn't tease anything that's super crazy or something. Oh, I got like it doesn't make Daredevil a must read right now.
No, no. All right, Chris, Avengers.
Okay. Well, here we go. This kind of ties in with what we just talked about. We got Avengers 56.
Oh
Let's see
yeah,
what we got there. We
yep, nice. That's
got
like
Jane Foster Thor and Valkyrie Thor kind of sitting around there. So what happened? Avengers 56. It was basically Jane Foster versus the Mephisto Legion. More teases of the big battle coming, but still no details of when or how. Like these Mephistos in this darkness are the dark masters of the universe. And I'm really liking Jane Foster as Thor, and I'm all for her as Thor. And I don't really care for much as Valkyrie. I don't know why. It's just kind of weird. Like it's almost like with Elektra. She looks better as a Daredevil in the Daredevil costume. When she's in her own, not so
I
bad.
agree. I agree.
And what's this? But as Thor, yeah. With like I say, I'm liking Jane Foster as a character, but as Thor, it's a different story. I think she's another level. So in this one here, I don't know. She was kind of just stuck in a dream world or something like that. But it was a decent story. I give that a 3.5. It was nothing crazy, but it's like I said, my first story with Jane Foster that I've read,
Yeah.
and yeah, I thought it was a good read.
So the main focus was on her in this issue of Avengers, then out of like all.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Not bad. And it actually gives Jason Aaron, the writer, a chance to return to the character, I guess, in that
well,
sense.
it's Jason Aaron here.
Yeah, that's who does Avengers.
Oh yeah, well that's good.
Who wrote that version of her, right? So I mean, that makes
Yeah,
a lot of sense that you'd bring her back in that book. Okay, so yeah, Saga 59. This is another fun entry into the series. It shifts in story. In this one, there is a shift again in the story and in the characters' placement in this story. Moving forward by the end of this issue, it had some funny moments, unanswered questions. With an ex crew member, this character. It was alluded to like he had some sort of past and he had to make a deal with this pirate that they encountered. And by the end of this issue, he basically left Alana's crew and allowed her to go on with her kids. And they took on two of the other members of this crew that wanted to come along with them. And I guess they were like younger kids who their kids like kind of really got along with. So they kind of did them a favor and they said, well, we'd like to leave. So they went along with them and her old crew member stayed with the pirate. And we don't know why, like what he has over him, what he knows about him in his past, like why he chose to kind of it seemed like he was kind of forced into this situation where he had to stay behind and let Alana go. But yeah, and by the end of this issue, you find out that there's a little bit of a crush that's being developed. The King Robot's uh, son, who I mean, the King Robot died in the past, kind of like I don't know how many issues ago, like 3 years ago, before they went on the hiatus. And again, his son kind of went with this group and they took care of him. And but now Alana's daughter, this girl here, who they've been together this whole time, he's now developed feelings for. So by the end of this issue, he reveals this to her, and as you can see, he's in the background with a heart on his screen there, showing his right, wearing his emotion on his sleeve there, on his screen, so to speak. So yeah, so it's that should be interesting. I mean, I think that they've spent a lot of time together, and maybe this is just as a result of being together for such a long time. But in a way, they're kind of like almost brother and sister at this point, even though they're not related, right? Just because they've kind of been forced in this situation with one another for so long. So but the girl, by the end of it, when he admits this to her, has like a oh god like type look on her face, like she's like groaning kind of. I'll show that because that's not really a spoiler, so to speak. Oh no, yeah, he's I'm in love with you, and then like before that, she's like
Mm.
easy. So yeah, it was fun. It was but I give it a 3.5. It wasn't anything like nothing huge happened in this issue in that sense. I have a hard time not giving this a 4 constantly, just because it's always like an enjoyable read. But I would say in comparison to some of the other character moments, even in more recent issues, it wasn't too nuts. So I give it a 3.5.
Nice.
Then we got Deathstroke Inc. #9. We've come to the block of the Shadow War issues. Now I read this one online, Chris, but I did join you in reading this one. I remembered to do that this week, and it was a little light for me. So, yeah, what'd you think of this?
Yeah, I thought it was great. Let's see. The Shadow War, it's back on track after that Shadow War Omega that kind of set me down a bit. And that Respawn character is dead and stayed dead, which I like because I thought, with his healing powers, he was going to come back. And Deathstroke is on the offense now, and he's taking the fight to Talia. So I thought it was fun to watch that.
Yeah, I did enjoy reading these 2 issues, and we're going to talk about Robin in a minute. And apologies if this didn't happen. Remind me if I don't know if this happened in this issue, and I don't have it in front of me because I read digitally to check, or in Robin. But one of the things I really enjoyed in this, which I mean, it's funny just because of whose mouth is coming out of, and all his all the things that he's done in his past that involve children as well. But Deathstroke actually questions their usage of children in the DC universe. Like he questions, like, with the like Batman obviously having these younger kids working with them, and obviously all the shit that Deathstroke has done with the younger kids and stuff like that, his own children, the people that he's hooked up with that have been young, that people have questioned from the old like Teen Titans era.
Yeah.
It's interesting because he does question, like, he's like, maybe we should reconsider like what we're doing with our kids or these younger kids, like, you know what I mean? Like, so I thought that was a very interesting point that he brought up of all people in one of these issues. It may have been Robin or it may have been Deathstroke, but I thought that was really, really interesting that they kind of brought that up, because I'm like, yeah, he's not wrong. Like, there's a lot of things that happen to these kids as a result of joining with these heroes in these stories, right? And especially his kids, as I think it must have happened in Deathstroke, because he was really pissed off because his son, like you said, his
Yeah.
it had died.
I think Ghostmaker was taking some digs at Deathstroke there too,
Yes. Because we got the Deathstroke in this book, and also the fake Deathstroke running around, like the guy who's been posing as him, right? But yeah, I liked it. I thought there were some good moments in this as well. Yeah, I did enjoy this, the Deathstroke Inc. And
yeah, I like the art in this one. I love this issue.
yeah, yes. What'd you give this one?
Yeah, I give this easy 4.
I'll give it 3.5. I'll give it 3.5. And then you got Robin 14, which is the continuation of the Shadow War. That was 6 and this is 7 or something like that? Part 7?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's part 7.
Yeah. So how about this one? Any main standout stuff different from I guess Deathstroke Inc. in this issue for you?
Well, I think this one here we got Talia versus Deathstroke,
Yes.
and a bit of the mystery unraveled here. I'm still not liking the Batman Inc. people. Like, I don't mind Ghostmaker, but the
Yeah.
rest of those Batman Inc. people, like, there's one guy like in a fire suit or something. I don't know what he's about, but
Cloud Hunter, and then there's the Ghostmaker dude, and there's
yeah, and then there's three other guys that are just kind of like, there's like Zorro, Batman, and
oh, that's
uh,
Batman Inc. Yeah, that's Batman Inc. guys. That's
yeah,
Batman Inc. guys that we didn't like their storyline by Joshua Williamson and Batman before this event. So remember when they're like, "Oh yeah, we were in, we tricked you."
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know
So
if Batman Inc. was a big thing or one point, or somehow they made it to a good story points, but I'm not liking these guys at all in Batman Inc. and this isn't helping them.
I
But
agree with you. I agree with you. They're kind of hokey. A lot of these Batman Inc. guys are like
yeah,
Batmans. Yeah, no, for sure.
yeah, but I thought it was good action throughout the comic. The fight between Talia and Deathstroke
Mhm.
was something to behold, let's say. And then you had the big reveal of who the fake Deathstroke is.
Yeah, that
That
was.
that was a swerve. Like I don't like I
I
don't know
know
who he is, but
I know of the character, but I don't know what the significance of having him with these other characters is. Maybe there's history there, maybe there isn't. Maybe
yeah,
that's the fun part about it, that it's just like some random, you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I won't reveal who it is either, but that was fun. I forgot about that actually. Yeah, you reminded me. I
yeah.
like
Like I'm not sure if it's good or bad for the story, but I guess we'll find out.
yeah. Yeah, I did like this. I liked everybody coming together for like kind of like the final showdown of sorts here in this issue. Like it seemed like there was some everybody kind of seems to be now like, all the books in the like in the
Yeah,
cross now are
so I
kind of
think this is coming to an end too soon because
yes. The new Batman.
like a couple issues of Batman, we're getting the new arc.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was good. I will say the only thing once again is the art between these two titles isn't consistent because it's two
Yeah,
different artists on two different books. So whenever you do these things with these crossovers with like different titles, sometimes the same characters will look different from book to book, which I think
yeah. Like I thought the Deathstroke one was like a lot better than this one, at least art wise, and maybe
yeah,
the art is helping this story
yeah,
because it's all action and all that. You want to have great looking fight scenes, and when
yeah,
the art is kind of lacking, let's say, I don't want to say it's lacking, but not as good as the other one, it takes away from a bit from the story.
exactly. And then it kind of takes you out of it a little bit and it kills the
Yeah,
flow a little bit. So I definitely felt that from going from Deathstroke to Ink to Robin. I will say that. Even like the fact that there's different Deathstrokes in these titles because you had the fake one and the real one.
yeah,
Even the difference of look between those two when you switched over to Robin, the artists, they made them look both different than the artists, obviously, in the other book, just because
yeah.
there's
Like, oh, is this a fake Deathstroke or something? You just
right.
can't tell.
So I got a little confused for a second just because they're stylistically, they're two different artists, right? So I mean, it wasn't too bad. Like it didn't take me out of it that much, but for a second, I was like, oh, it looks much different from title to title, right? Unfortunately, that's what happens sometimes with these
Yeah.
cross, right? You can't really help that.
I do like that Angel Breaker character. That's kind of, I don't know if she's coming out of this or something. That
Yeah.
seems to be a decent character that might be able to do something with later on.
Yeah. Yeah. So what'd you give this one then, Chris?
I'll give it a 3.5.
Same. Yeah, I give both. But with that being said, like you did point out, you may have pushed me to a 4 for Deathstroke Inc. because I did prefer Deathstroke Inc. I think to Robin. So yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah, definitely.
maybe I'll join you in that sense because like you brought up a good point with the art. So all right. So next up we got Action Comics 1043, Chris.
Fuck. Superman's still on this freaking war world.
Oh yeah.
Not letting go of this war world here
Going on for a while, eh?
for a long time.
Yeah.
Let's see what I have to say about this here. Yep, the battle of the war world rages on, but now there's some new ancient sources of power that are revealed here. So you can kind of maybe see the light at the end of the tunnel. I don't know. And there's the second story was a backstory, or it's a brief history of the Moguls or Mongols. Sorry, specifically the first Mongol.
They're a bunch of rich guys. The Moguls, hey, show up. Yeah.
And the good thing about this story, it helps you understand sort of like the what's going on in this war world and what it's all about. So at least the backstory ties into what's going on in the main story. So that was good. But like I said, they're really sticking with this war world storyline, and there's still no end in sight. And it's not a bad story, but it's not a great story. Like I don't mind seeing Superman in War World, but I want to see Superman back
Yeah.
in the well, I guess back in the real world. He's dead now, so
Right.
maybe I gotta take what I get right now. But I'll give it a 3.5.
Okay. Okay. Next up, we got Harley Quinn, number 15. Let's see here. This was great. Another great issue. I gotta say, this current arc of Harley Quinn, I thought it went from like a, let's say, like mediocre book really before, for me, that I just continue to read because I pick it up. Christine reads it. And I like Harley. I really like the artist on this. So it wasn't a book I was looking to drop, let's say, but
Yeah,
it was just okay. But this current arc, the last couple of issues, has been great. Like this current arc for her, like ever since she's been framed for murder and she went to Blackgate, and now like last issue they introduced Batwoman, and in this issue, like after she broke her out last issue, she's been teaming up with Harley, and they've been going around trying to find out like who the person is that framed her. And then we got this rookie cop that's transferred over to the police force in Gotham recently, and like she's kind of like doing her own investigation internally, trying to see like she feels like there's like a dirty cop involved that may be framing Harley as well. And it's just great. It's I don't know. I'm loving this current arc, and this I love Batwoman. You don't see her often if you don't read like a title when she actually has one out. She kind of just shows up here and there. So I've really enjoyed seeing her in this book. I think she's a great character. Yeah, just it's been a fun team up with these two. Great art. I love Riley Rossmo's cartoony art. Funny moments. I mean, when like humor is hard to do, especially with Harley. I think sometimes a lot of the time just comes off cheesy or punny and stuff like that. But which it is some of her jokes at times, but I think that it's in this issue it really worked. And there was a really interesting twist at the end. So yeah, I can't say enough good things about this current arc. I think this is a really good arc for Harley Quinn. Probably started about 2 issues ago, so maybe 12 or 13 probably. So if you're looking for a good Harley story, I would recommend the one that's going on right now in the main title. It's really great. So which I'm surprised about, just because like I said, I thought it was just like mediocre for quite a while. I mean, we're talking about the same writer and artist team that just are really finding their groove. I feel like 12 issues into the run. So I mean, whatever. I mean, I hope it continues. Yeah, I gave it a 4. Really great issue, and I look forward to the next one.
well, that's what's good about some of these stories here, where you're not really expecting much from them,
Yeah,
and they just move into interesting ways. It's not like some big world story that's getting you.
yeah, no, absolutely. Oh, you got that cover, eh? Let's take a look at this. This is like the old Robin miniseries. This cover, kind of, yeah, that's very cool. The Chuck Dixon one from
Yeah, I
the
kind of picked this one on a whim. It was on the rock there, and
yeah,
I figured I'm down for this DC versus vampires, so I thought I'd pick it up.
yeah. So this
That's
is,
a nice cover though, too, though.
yeah, DC versus Vampires Hunters #1. So what do you think about this, Chris? This is a one-shot issue taking place. I guess we're about halfway through the main book right now, the main event, and we've now found out that that vampires now have kind of taken over part of the world, and like there's been a separation that's been made as a result of learning that some of the Bat family are vampires now, and now everyone's kind of
Yeah,
their own direction now as a result. It seems like where we left off last in the main DC versus Vampires series is that there's definitely a shift occurring in the book right now. So I guess that's why they wanted to bring out this one shot or whatever to
yeah. It took a bit of reading just to kind of get up to speed on who's who and what's what. Like I don't remember in the last issue Damien being turned or kind of what was happening, but I thought it was a good story with some twists and turns in there, and like I said, it took a bit of some a few pages just to kind of remind myself what was happening in this world of DC versus vampires.
yes.
I don't recall Batman dying in the last issues. Did he or did he not? Do you remember that? And
I don't think he did. So this might have happened since
like unless there's like between issue 7 and 8 or something.
maybe, and maybe it hasn't come
They
out.
do allude to him to Batman dying, right?
They did, but I also think that the rest of the Bat family are off somewhere. So I think I don't know if he's dead, to be honest with you. Like, I think like
Yeah, because like the last issue I remember from DC and Vampires was when it was just revealed that Dick Grayson was the.
Nightwing was a
Oh
vampire.
yeah, Nightwing was the Vampire King, but now he's all set up in his office there, and he's got everybody's loyal to him. So I
Yeah.
don't know if we just missed something there, if this is just kind of coming out too early, or
Either they jumped ahead or it's what you just said, that there's some sort of scheduling issue, because I think that the way that they left things, he may have fought Bruce, I believe, at that time in the book. Someone did die, so maybe we're just forgetting that, Chris. But
yeah,
and Damian may have turned in that altercation as well, right? What I didn't know though was, and I guess that's what the reason why they came out with this one shot that I thought was really interesting is, although Damian is turned, it seems like he's still helping the heroes.
yeah, that's another thing too. Like that kind of came out of the blue.
I really enjoyed this. I think, like you just said, sometimes you don't really expect much from something, and I felt this was one of the strongest installments of the series, to be honest with you. I actually, by the end of this, I was really impressed because of the choices that they made in the story of the kind of at the end, Dick had to make a choice of like, yeah, I saw you coming from a mile away. I knew you were a
Yeah,
spy for the heroes. I know that you're not going to stay loyal to me. So why don't you go your own way? I'm going to give you the chance to leave right now because of our past association. Alfred, like he spared him at the end there. He had to feed on him, Damien. I thought that because of the relationship between these three characters and the fact that they're vampires now, at least they didn't turn into fucking mindless people. Like they
yeah.
still have that instilled in them, which so many times even in I feel like in this series we've seen so far in the other
Well,
main.
even this issue, I thought this issue was in the beginning. I thought it was going sideways fast when, he had when Dick Grayson had Damien there. He goes, "Oh, you can either try and kill me, or you got to go save your friends."
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, come on, really? This is what it's going to be? But it did right its ship or right its
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, I just feel like we even yeah, this was a cool sequence. I even feel in this series they've people have turned into vampires, and automatically they're not acting like themselves anymore because they're vampires.
Yeah,
Like, and I just thought that this was a good example, I feel like, of like doing vampires right, in a sense, like trying to like do right by the characters, but also, also say, hey, yeah, yes, some of these people have changed now as a result of being vampires, but some people still have, what makes them them. And the fact that it's Damien of all people that's kind of stepping up in this issue, which I don't mind Damien, but I also don't find him to be like the one that's going to be the standout of
yeah,
the Bat family, especially because he's younger. I thought it was a good choice, to be honest with you. I thought like I thought it was a well done issue. I thought by the end of it, I was surprised at the choices they made. Like you said, it started off a little bit and weird, and also I couldn't recall everything
yeah.
there if it has already occurred in the series, the main series. But by the end of it, I was like, that was pretty good, man. I was pretty happy with this.
Yeah, because going into this, like, just from the covers, I thought Damian Wayne was still human. And he was just going to be hunting vampires.
Same.
That's what I thought the issue was. But it kind of just turned on its head right off the bat. We're like, oh, Damien's a vampire.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's basically investigating them and feeding information to Martian Manhunter in this, but then once it gets revealed that he's been spying on them, I guess, like I said, Dick kind of knew the whole
Yeah,
time.
kind of. I've been watching you spying on me, sort of. I know everything, but
And him and Alfred and Damien have a cool little moment at the end there where he lets them go on their way, but he pretty much says can he pretty much cutting ties now, essentially. Like he's like, yeah, we're gonna be like, don't come around here no more, type of deal.
yeah,
Like, so I thought that was actually a really interesting choice and a realistic one. Let's say if maybe I get it, they're vampires, but like at least it wasn't like the same hokey type of fucking vampire story we've read a million times, which I think that it has been somewhat during this event. Like I've enjoyed the event so far.
yeah,
some points I'm just like, come on, like there were some choices during the main series where I'm just like, I don't know about that.
Well, like the first six issues is basically who is, who isn't. There's kind of some fun stuff. But if they want to try and get down to nitty gritty in the next six issues, I'd be all for that too.
I'm really looking forward to after this one shot. That's another thing I wanted to say. Yeah, you touched right on it. Is that the fact that they're spinning another 6-issue miniseries out of this, as we know, I think that's going to be focused on the vampire side of things that we talked about, as well as the other 6 issues of this series. Maybe another one shot like this along the way. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to the rest of it now. I think that now that we're past that part of who's a vampire, who's all the I'm so glad that part of the story's done.
Yeah, and you see what this world is like.
Yeah. So if this is kind of what they're going to be like this issue, like more in this kind of direction, I'm looking forward to it. So, what'd you give this then, Chris?
Well, let's give it a 3.5. I thought it was great, but
yeah, I really liked it. I give it a 4.5. I think. Yeah, I really liked this. It surprised me, quite frankly. I wasn't expecting it to be this solid. I think this is probably one of my favorite issues in the including the main series of DC versus Vampires. I really liked this. So yeah, there you go.
Nice.
Then next up we got Batman Beyond the White Knight 3, continuing with these awesome covers and great looking art. Chris, you put this in your top 5 current reads the last time we discussed that on episode 25. So what'd you think of this issue?
Yeah, so I was really looking forward to this one, but I think kind of fell flat this time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not so happy to say. Let's see. Yeah, that was a bit of a slow story. A lot of history updates here and story building. And that thing with that cop becoming Robin, I don't know if he'd really freaking put on that Robin costume.
Right.
Like some little, I'm going to put on some little kid costume, but that's okay. And yeah, otherwise, yeah, it's like, I like the stuff with Harley Quinn, they're talking about why they did what they did. Like it was more kind of shock stuff before. And now when they reveal the answers, the answers aren't that great.
Yeah, I'm with you. I agree. I don't think this is as good as the first 2 issues of this series. They're kind of just moving the story along a little bit now, and that's okay and needed. I think this suffers from having too much of a good thing. I think, to be honest with you, I think the art's still amazing. The story is still interesting.
Yeah, I think it's just like taking a breath almost.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not faulting it for that, but I do agree with you in the sense that I think, like, in comparison, if we had to say which was the best out of the first 3, this was probably the weakest of the first 3 issues of this series so far, and weak in the sense compared to how great those first 2 issues were.
Yeah.
Not that it was bad on its own, but I think it suffers more from that, if anything. Yeah, so I agree with you. Yeah. Yeah, I just said it was another good entry into the series. Amazing art as always. Enjoying the relationships between everybody new and old. And there's lots of storylines connecting right now. There's a lot of stuff that they're pulling from the other series that came before this. And I think it's just one big story being told here. So yeah, the art is always great in these series. I will give him that. Sean Murphy is a fantastic artist. So even if you're not digging what's going on in the stories, even in an issue like this, where it's just kind of moving the story along, the visuals are always great.
Yeah, I think if you're reading this in a trade paperback, you wouldn't notice that this is a bad issue just because you got so much going on, but
good point.
Like, there's nothing, there's no tease at the ending there or anything. And
no,
I'm still looking forward to the rest of it, but it's just like I say, I was really looking forward to this, and nothing big really happened.
Yeah, no, great point. That is very.
Or I guess maybe the Robin character coming out was supposed to be the big, the big reveal of this issue, which I didn't think was that big.
Yeah. No, there is a new suit that's showcased here. You get to see the Batman suit that he created before he created the Batman Beyond one. That's this like trench coat looking suit, which is fine, but I mean, that's my favorite. But it's kind of interesting. I like that he's going for it though. He's trying different things. So. So what'd you give this one then?
I'll give it another 3.5.
Same. I give the art a 5 though. The art's great. I can't stress that enough. But we're gonna because we got to go based on both art and story. Yeah, I give it a 3.5 as well. So, all right, here we go. Spider-Man 2099 Exodus #1, Chris.
There we go. Spider-Man 2099. Let's see. It's a story of the 2099 Winter Soldier, basically.
Okay.
These are kind of done in. It's almost sort of like the Wastelanders. I think it's this kind of happening in the same world as the Wastelanders, where this New York is just, it's still one of the cities that are living there. Because outside of the Nuevo York, they always kind of talk about it as the wasteland.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not much to do with Spider-Man and or Miguel O'Hara in this. I have him there in the beginning, and he's there with some Ghost Rider, and they're talking about, I don't know what they're talking about. They're talking about trying to get some information to this Winter Soldier of 2099. So it's a lot of history about kind of where the Winter Soldier came from. There's some mentions about Bucky Barnes being the Winter Soldier. I think was it Crossbones? Yeah, Crossbones was in it as a villain, and he had Bucky Barnes' arm there because he's beaten, he's killed most of the Winter Soldiers, and this new Winter Soldier is the last one left. And I don't know, the story's getting tied together, but it's not a super great story. But it's just fun seeing all these kind of new reimaginations of these characters, but they're not like the legacy characters like they had in the Wastelanders, like where Wastelanders was Hawkeye, Star-Lord, or whatever. These are just kind of characters, but not the same people.
Yeah.
And I'd give this a 3.52.
Is this a one shot? Is this a setup of the new series or like
I
what?
think it's like a 5-issue miniseries, and it seems like from what I've seen from the solicitations, every sort of Spider-Man, it's almost like a Marvel team up, but he's not even teaming up with them. Because I think there's going to be a Black Widow in one, and I don't know, a few other characters.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. 3.5, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next one we got Punisher #3. Interesting looking cover.
Pretty cool cover.
Yeah, I remember pre-ordering this. I didn't know what the hell was going on. Like I obviously a fan of Cap, but I couldn't figure it out. And then when
it doesn't look like he doesn't have a little kid head though.
yeah,
If he's supposed to be a kid there, man, that's like some freaking full grown man's face on a kid's body.
yeah, it was weird. So what did you think of this one, Chris?
I don't know, man. I don't think I like what they're doing with the Punisher. This is not my favorite version of the Punisher, that's for sure. Like those scenes there where he's in great battles, that's fine, but when they kind of have him back there, addressing the troops and just, outright murdering people, it's going a little too far for me, and I don't know. There's got to be some payoff here, I hope. That's all I got to say.
I have faith in Jason Aaron, who's doing this. I loved his Punisher Max run. This is definitely something different he's going for. I'll tell you what bugs me the most, Chris, about this so far, though. And yeah, like you, it sounds like I'm struggling with this a bit. Like I want to like it, I think, a lot more than I am currently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm giving it some
give me a lot of rope.
I think so. So yeah, I will say, but yeah, like the things like this, like the violence and the way he's killing people, though, is
like when he's fighting the Hydra, I thought that was great.
Yeah, like there's some crazy moments in between all this. The thing that I'm not 100% sold on, it's not even like him acting suspect with him being like part of the hand and all that, because that's the choice that they made for this storyline. And like you said, it may not be your favorite version, and that's fine if that's what they're going for this story. The thing that I don't love about it so far is like I don't know how many issues in this series or if the main focus is really going to be going back and forth with all these flashbacks with him as a kid.
Yeah, I didn't really care much for him as a child. Like, it was interesting for one issue, but if it's going to be like kind of half the issue all the time, and
yeah, and also like, and I guess that's how they've been kind of making the split of the art styles and stuff like that, which it's fine. Like I don't mind the artists involved, but it's like in this issue they focus. So in the last issue they focus. he's taken a lot of liberties with inserting a lot of history into his past in this series.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'm a huge fan of because I
Yeah, it's almost ruining the Punisher's. It's
yeah,
like retconning him almost, and you don't want him retcon. I like him the way he was.
right, because I believe the first time they said that, I think it was Garth Ennis. Like, I think that they've done the Punisher story where the first time he killed somebody was, I think, in the war. So the fact
Yeah,
that like he killed somebody as a kid in this flashback here, and then the last issue had a flashback where the first time he encountered the hand, but he didn't know that he.
yeah.
I'm just like, how many of these things are we gonna do with these inserts of shit that happened when he was younger? That
And all they do is make him worse and worse, not better and better.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's what's really bugging me. Like, I was like, okay, we're doing the kid thing again. I thought it was okay for last issue. I'm like,
Yeah, it's okay for a one-off, but
but
if
even
you're
last,
trying to split the issue with artists by doing this and just kind of, it just seems like filler.
yeah, and like I don't think it's necessary is
Yeah,
the thing. Like, I don't think there's a need for that. Like, and if this is gonna be what it is every issue, I don't know if I'm on board for that. Like, I think like even last issue I called it out when we talked about it, where I'm like, I have a hard time. Like, I'm like, that's kind of weird that like they had encountered him when he was younger. I'm like, okay,
yeah,
like the story they're trying to tell here. Okay, like that's what I mean. Like, I'm going along with it, but I don't feel like I like all aspects of this story that they're trying to tell right now. Like that kind of, but I can't, I don't want this to be the whole series. You know what I mean? Like
yeah. And even with that, whatever the high priestess that's always whispering in his ear,
yeah.
like, come on, he wouldn't put up with that stuff.
See, but that's the only thing. Like that stuff, I feel like okay, they
Like, I
must.
could take that if that was it.
Yeah,
And,
that's what I mean.
but like I said, it's got to be some sort of payoff at the end of this.
Yes, yes, but that's the thing. Like, I'm on board for the duration. Like, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm loving this series, like, because I'm not. Because there is
Oh
certain
yeah,
aspects of
definitely.
like if I didn't like the character as much as I do, I would probably have already been out by now. But I'm like, okay, these are things that are bugging me, but let's see what they do with it. Maybe there's gonna be something at the end, like you said, that like
Yeah, like if Daredevil shows up in this and they have like a crossover arc,
yeah,
and they just want the Punisher to truly be a villain or something in this for whatever reason. I don't know, but like
yeah.
if there's some sort of mandate from the higher ups is that the Punisher can't be a hero because just he's been too popular and his logo has been kind of given to villains. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. So I guess wait and see, I guess is all I have to say at this point. That's all I'm doing because like
Yeah.
in this issue, yeah, they mentioned that he killed a mobster in his neighborhood when he was younger because like he witnessed this man kill beat the shit out of his woman and like a guy I guess she was cheating on him with like in the middle of the street. And it's like old school like gangster type, like it feels like it's Goodfellas or something like that.
Yeah.
And then yeah, he ends up killing him in like a Home Alone type of way. Like it's weird. And then you have that with the other part where they're continuing the story of Ares, the god of war, which was revealed as the villain at the end of the second issue. That's interesting, I feel.
Yeah.
And how his armies are coming towards him, and he feels like he's a god, and that being a god of war, Frank should be basically bowing to him essentially. Like, but then he's got this whole other hand storyline going on, like Chris said. That's kind of weird. And now I guess the thing that we're going to start seeing now is whether or not they're going to actually resurrect his kids next, because it's been kind of up in the air for the
Yeah.
last couple issues. But if that's actually going to happen by the next one, now it seems like the way they ended this issue, it could happen. I don't know. I guess we'll see. But it seems like they're holding that. I think they're dangling that, I think, above his head right now.
Yeah, I think they dangle a lot of stuff. Like here when the Punisher's saying, "Okay, let's go to war." Okay, you're ready to fight Ares, and
Yeah.
then he doesn't go to the battle, and the Hang just gets wiped out by this Ares character.
Right. But then this is the other thing I'm not totally in love with either, that his eyes are like turning like this. Like there's some supernatural element to it now, which I don't love when there's supernatural elements involved with the Punisher. You know what I mean? Like I'm just like, okay, like
Well, that's what I'm worried about. Like, in issue 6, he's gonna wake up and go, "Oh, I can't believe I was, like my mind was fogged or something like that."
right. So as you can tell, there's some conflictions here, guys. There's things I enjoy. I do enjoy the character. I do have faith in the writer and the team involved in the sense that hopefully they do something with this story, but I don't know. I don't know where it's going, to be honest with you. And I'm not loving it. I would
Yeah.
say. it's okay. It's not horrendous, but they're making some weird choices so far in this story. So I don't know. What'd you think? What'd you give this then, Chris? What would you
Yeah,
give? I don't know. It's hard to say.
I don't want like I'd give it a 3. I'm sorry. Like I'd want to give it more. Like I'd give it a 3.5, but then with the other
Honestly,
3.5 that I have there, I
many
enjoyed them more than I did
Yeah.
enjoy
No,
this.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I can't give this a 3.5 after we've given other books where we thought they were good issues that where we have so many issues with this one.
Yeah.
I'd have to give it a 3 too. I gave I think I've been giving high ratings to the first two, but in this issue, I'm like, okay, it's gone on too long.
Yeah, like it's
like,
not going anywhere. Like there's no payoff. You don't see a light. There's no like hint of anything.
I just
You
hate
know, like the first one, well, his wife is alive. Now his wife is crazy and they're freaking injecting her with sedatives all the time.
I just hate
Like,
this.
you know, he's got to be like, you know, they make him just look like a dummy, I think, you know?
I love the writer. I like Jason Aaron a lot. I like his work a lot. I've liked his previous Punisher series a lot. I like this
Yeah.
character.
Like when they said he's going to be leading the hand, I thought he'd be leading this on, you know, of his own free will. And, you know, he kind of, you know, he won the right to be king and he does what he wants with these guys. But he just looks like a puppet of that high priestess. And, you know, it's all this judging those people and he kills them both. It's like, oh, come on.
And then,
or, you know, even in the previous issues, and I thought it was brutal, but I thought they're just doing that for, you know, like some sort of, you know, just for, you know, a little bit of like a wow factor when he, you know, he kills whatever they have those 40 pedophiles or something, and he just freaking offs them all. But I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, it's weird, man. I don't know. I'm very conflicted just because, like, and I just feel like this character needs a good book right now because all the shit that this because of this brand of the Punisher has caused as a result of, you know, the states and politics and everything else. It just, you know what I mean? The wrong people taking.
But maybe they're just shying away from, you know, like a lone gunman going out and, you know, dealing out his own brand of justice, you know, with everything that's going on.
I guess. I mean, I can. I mean, that's already happening right now, right?
Exactly. You know, I guess they don't want to add fuel to the fire.
No, which I can't blame them if that's the case, and that's why they want to do this different of a Punisher story, right? So, yeah, it's just unfortunate because I think it's going to ruin a great character, right? But
exactly, yeah, you know, hopefully, you know, maybe in a few years they can be able to write real Punisher stories again.
Yeah. All right. So, Amazing Spider-Man #2, last new issue of the night. Here we have to talk about staying true to our keeping Spider-Man for last to discuss here on the show. But the first issue left us with a lot of answers, guys. And were they answered to this?
A lot of questions.
Sorry, questions. Sorry, not answers. Did we get any answers this issue?
And this cover thought you'd get something.
Nope.
This should have been a variant cover for the first issue or something. Like Mary Jane's not even in this issue. The only thing that ruined this story really for me is this cover. If they had a normal cover on it, I think I would have liked this story a lot more. It just gave you a whole bunch of expectations and then didn't deliver on anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is true. Yeah. So I left us with a lot of questions in the first one, and obviously they're just stringing us along and not revealing anything as of yet to how Peter got into this situation.
Yeah,
there's more.
Yeah, they're just gonna make us sweat. They're gonna make us sweat along. Make us sweat for, you know, with all the bombshells they dropped in that first issue. But the story itself here with what's his name, Tombstone.
Yeah,
I'm liking to. I'm warming up to Tombstone. You know, he's not my favorite villain, but I think he pulled some fast ones on Spider-Man in this issue, and I thought that was okay.
I think it's staying true with how I felt the first issue about this. This just feels like classic Spidey to me, and that's what I've wanted, and I'm okay with going for the ride and them not revealing everything at this moment in time because clearly it's a choice. And I think that this was just a classic Spidey issue where he's getting involved in this whole Tombstone scenario with him trying to be the new king of New York type of deal. Like there's gangster type stuff going on. He's up in the mix. Norman Osborn comes by and
I like that one.
Yeah, I guess Peter to babysit at one point of it. So it just feels that's the most important thing for me, I think, at this point in time, because having that Beyond era for so long, I feel like, and of doing this show with Chris and not being able to talk about classic Spider-Man because it just wasn't a thing at that time because we've been following Ben Reilly for such a lot, period.
But I think there was one panel there. I don't know if it was foreshadowing something, but Didn't you open a van and there's like a whole bunch of costumes of the original or the Sinister Six in there?
I didn't catch that. If that's what
There
happened
was Tombstone. Take a look for
at
that.
the end here, or is it might have
It's
been?
just like in the middle. It kind of was like a throwaway panel, but
Yeah, maybe.
I know that the Sinister Six seems to have some sort. Well, maybe it's not the Sinister
Oh,
Six after.
right here. You see Electro, and you see what's his name's the fishbowl there. Yeah,
Yeah,
Mysterio.
you see Mysterio's costume in there. Like
Yeah,
they
here
don't
I'll
really,
put it up on the screen. Hold on, right here.
yeah, key into it. But
Yes, I missed that too. There you go. Yeah, good eyes. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, so I mean, like for that reason, I think this is a fine issue.
yeah,
But yeah, if you're looking for answers to who those kids were at the end of the first issue, you don't get it in this one. So yeah,
yeah, like I'm almost thinking these stories would be better served without that freaking bombastic beginning of the series where
yes,
he's standing in that crater and you don't know what happened, and then it says 6 months later.
yeah. I think the art's still good. Yeah,
Yeah, like I think the art is decent for the story that's going on. I think it's looking good.
yeah.
On the cover doesn't look like Peter Parker to begin with to me. I don't know. I
No,
know everybody draws him different, but
that face though is kind of
yeah, that face is just brutal.
all right.
But
Well,
it's in the issue. I guess you get used to him. I guess after a while, once you see him there.
yeah. So what'd you
But I
what'd you
did like it.
what'd you give this then, Chris?
I'll give it a 3.5 though. Like I don't think it was super great, but yeah, I thought the ending was good. I could be pushed to a 4, but
I'm gonna
that cover killed me.
yeah, I'm gonna go with the 4. The cover, I hear what you're saying about the cover, but yeah, it's not a thing for me in that.
I don't like the bait and switch.
Yeah, nope. But yeah, I gave it a 4. Yeah, it was a decent issue.
Yeah, I like the issue though.
Yeah. All right, guys. So we're at that time of the month again, though. That'll do it for all of our new weekly comics this week. Let us know in the comments if you know what your thoughts were on any of those books, if you read them this week, and we'll get to our favorite books of the week by the end of the show here. But we got the new previews magazine in right now. So as always, now we've wanted to start doing, we wanted to highlight some of the books coming out a couple of months down the road. If you know anything about pre-ordering your books from your local comic book store, you got to kind of pre-order them like 3 months in advance almost. Basically, so the new previews magazines come out in stores, and it gives you a highlight, a little sneak peek of things that are coming up. So in this previews book, it kind of goes over all of the other publishers other than like Marvel and DC at this point, because they have their own previews, and DC just does it digitally now. But I wanted to highlight a couple of new Image books I might be picking up in a couple of months here for you guys, and then we can get into the Marvel and DC proper. So yeah, this is Love Everlasting #1. Now this has been coming out digitally right now. Like you can find this online, but this is the print version of it that's going to be starting to come out in issues. So I've already heard good things about this series. This is Tom King and artist Elsa Charretier, or I don't know how to say her name. She's French. I think she's from Montreal or something, possibly even. But Charretier, I don't know how to say her name, but they're basically doing an old school a romance comic. So I thought that's kind of very interesting to do in today's market. I really like the writer and artist involved. She has a style that's very similar to the late great Darwin Cook, also a Canadian artist. So yeah, I really dig the look of this. So I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I'm a big fan of romance comics, but I think that I have enough trust in the creative team to at least see
Yeah,
it.
but who knows with Image? They might kind of put out a romance, there and just throw in some few spins that take it to another level.
Yeah, so I have enough trust in the creative team that I'm going to give it a shot. So, yeah, #1 comes out, I think, this August. Yeah, August 10th, and that's the premiere of this new series. So, yeah, take a look at this if this is something that might interest you. I think it's interesting and different that they're doing it in today's market. And the other book I want to pick up is Old Dog #1. This is written by drawn by Declan Shalvey, an artist I'm a big fan of. This is him writing and drawing, I think, his first series. He's been writing a lot of other comics lately, but he hasn't been drawing the things he's been writing, from what I understand. But he wrote a short story about this in the first issue of the Image anthology. There was a short about this, And I talked about it actually here on the show, and I didn't know that he was planning on doing, like, I guess he was using that as the launching pad to kind of preview this book and the anthology and then start his own series. So I'm actually was really excited to see this because I didn't know that was going to be a thing. So I really liked the short story I read in the anthology issue. And I look more forward to more. This is basically just about like an old ass like spy or like covert like mission type dude. So like MI6 or something like a James Bond or something like that. Something like that's kind of what I got out of the short story that I read in the Image anthology. So yeah, I'm a fan of his art, and I've been reading some things he's been writing as a writer lately, not just an artist. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one too.
Nice.
Yeah. So all right, and then we got the Marvel previews here. Now, I actually just read an article prior to starting the show here today that says that like 40 titles from this Marvel previews are actually not going to be coming out in August now, because I guess me and Chris has talked about it on the show here before. Like there has been a delay, I guess maybe because of paper shortages in the release of some of these Marvel single issues as of lately that we've been talking about. And even though so many are going to be shifted to September, October, I think from this particular solicitations they've just announced, they are still going to be, if you think there's going to be a lot less Marvel comics in August, that's not even the case, because I think over the next couple of months, the things that have been delayed that we've been experiencing are going to get eventually pushed into August. And I think that they're using this as a way to catch up probably with their backlog of releases. And that's probably why they shifted so many titles out of this solicitations into September, October. So you can't even order a lot of the books that are in here at this moment in time as a result of this announcement that came out after the release of the previews. I'm not.
Well, hopefully the previews catch up to what's actually going to be able to come out. Like it's
So I will.
We're 2 months ahead.
So I will say that with a caveat, I'm not going to bring up the article and mention all the books in here that aren't coming out in August, but let's just say the books that we're going to be seeing here are going to be coming out like August, September. Okay. So August, September, October, probably, but let's take a look anyways, regardless, and see what's coming out and talk about the things that we are going to pick up whenever they do come out anyways. Right. So I just wanted to have that caveat and mention that to everybody. Not everything's going to be coming. Like for instance, this is coming out in August. This is not number 4. So they've pushed number 4, I think, to September, I think, of Axe Judgment Day, this event as a result of this. That's just one that I remember off the top of my head. But so 3 is coming out, 4 isn't. So you're gonna get that. Look up the list online if you're interested in seeing where that is. I think there's a couple of news sites that put it up, like comic news sites. So okay. So Chris, we're in for this though.
Oh yeah, I am down for Judgment Days. I'm just hoping that all these delays don't kind of mishmash the story.
Yeah. No, same. The thing is, like, I mean, these people, the writers and
there are the tie-ins at least. Maybe the tie-ins are coming out on time and the main story isn't.
Yeah.
That kind of ruins stuff.
Yeah. I mean, they're still going to be working on the books. So, I mean, we got that to look forward to, right? So they are going to come out still eventually, right? But as long as they don't cancel them. That's what happens sometimes with delays too, guys. Sometimes they're like, you know what? This book's we have to shift this like 3 months ahead. Let's just cancel it, right? Things before they come out.
Well, I don't think they're canceling Judgment Day.
No, but I'm just worried about other smaller titles, right? So we'll see.
But that X-Men Red there, ooh, I think that's a big one.
You thinking of picking this one up?
I got Magneto's helmet lying on the ground without him in it.
Yeah.
Big things happening, I think.
I'm not going to bother with this Death to the Mutants, I think, in print. I'm kind of sort of interested in it, but I don't know. Well, maybe read it digitally. Going to stick with Immortal X-Men.
Yep.
Marauders, I'm not going to continue reading. X-Men, yeah. This looks interesting.
Yeah, is that Cyclops there?
Yeah.
Once again, I heard they're trying to do some big things with him too, maybe.
Yeah, so you got
in this Judgment Day crossover.
Yeah, so there's a Cyclops tie-in here for the event. There's you're going to see a lot of event tie-in books coming up here now. So, strap in.
Yeah.
For some reason, Amazing Spider-Man is an event.
Yeah, well, I don't know why she's on the cover. Probably not going to be in the issue, so it doesn't matter. Like, that cover doesn't excite me at all anymore.
But yeah, I don't think we're picking these up, Wolverine or X-Force, right? No.
Yeah.
Fantastic
Yeah,
Fours.
I'm down for that.
That'll be picking up. I probably won't be picking. I'll only be picking up tie-ins that are like in books I already read, I think. But Avengers, you're gonna be sticking with this, Chris?
Yeah, I'm big with Avengers. I'm liking that so far still.
Got some Hawkeye and Black Widow on the cover here. I don't know what's going on there. Fortnite, we don't really
No,
know.
I don't need the codes. Maybe I'll sell them.
Yeah. Amazing Fantasy starring Spider-Man.
That's supposed to be a big issue.
Yeah,
A
1,000.
lot of big writers on it, at least.
Yeah, Neil Gaiman, which is a big deal. Hickman, Slott, Kurt Busiek, yeah, Rainbow Royale. There's a lot of great great writers and artists on here. Jim Chung, Olivier Coipel, Michael Cho, Goran Parlov. Yeah, these are like artists that don't do too much, and you don't normally see draw Spider-Man. So that's one of those oversized anthology. And
Yeah, I don't know if it's good or bad. I saw a lot of the variant covers for this, and they're all crap.
there is a lot of
Like
crap.
there's no like they're decent, but there's no like wow covers. You know what I mean?
These some of these Momoko ones are not hitting for me, man. I don't know. Like this looks awkward.
Yeah, like it's nothing.
I don't know. Some of her covers are nice, and a lot of them I find
She's
that
hit and miss, and she's been
yeah,
missing a lot lately.
exactly.
Like she might have been hitting a long time ago, but
Yeah,
everything's out of whack
that's why
now.
she's a big name, right? But I feel like she's pumping out a lot of covers I think that aren't great now, right? So,
Yeah.
Ultraman, no, I know people like that though. Edge of Spider-Verse,
Yeah, I'm gonna be picking that up.
are you? I'm surprised they're going back to the well again on this. I mean,
Well, it's like the end of the Spider Verse or something, so I don't know what's going on with that.
it says.
And they're going to introduce some new spider characters that may show up in a movie. Who knows?
I might read it digitally if you're gonna check it out because I am sort of interested. I just don't know if I like. I don't. It's one of those things. I'm like, is it important or not? I don't know, right? Like, I
I
mean,
don't know.
but I do like these characters, right? I mean, these are some cool characters, cool covers going on here. Are you gonna be picking this up?
No, I have to. I went through the whole freaking. I didn't even know that was going to be out there. I thought that Gwen Stacy thing was, the 5 series, and now they're going to have a fucking giant size issue at the end of it.
Well, it got canceled. Did you pick up the other issues?
For what? This got canceled. The Gwen Stacy ones.
So originally they came out with a couple of issues, and then it got canceled, and then that's why they're collecting it all in one oversized issue. So this was a miniseries, I think, that they originally were coming out with. So this issue's all 5 issues.
I was looking forward to because they had some sick covers of all the Gwen Stacy's and
yeah,
like Wolverine costume and all that sort of stuff.
So this is all 5 issues of this miniseries in one oversized issue.
Ooh.
That's what it says here. It says Gwen's own miniseries finally gets its ending, and we're putting it all together. Representing issues 1 to 3 of the Gwen Stacy limited series.
Well, I gotta read them now. I guess I'm not getting 4 and 5 then.
2019. So like it came out a while ago. It got canceled due to the pandemic, and I really like the artists on this book, so I think I might pick this up. So you are going to read this? You're going to check this out?
Yeah, well, I got the 1 to 3, I think.
Oh, that sucks, Chris. So 1 to 3 are going to be in here, but the only way you're going to be able to read 4 and 5 is in this issue. Apparently,
and I was basically buying for those land covers, like.
Okay, land, yeah. Okay, so yeah, Damage. I like this in theory. I'm not going to pick this up, but I like the idea of Damage Control. I think that's a fun idea in the Marvel universe.
They got the first round of the Damage Control there.
Yeah. First round?
Like, when they came out, like the
original
back in the 80s or something.
Yeah, I've read those. Yeah, I read a collection one time, like a paperback of them. It's cool. Are you sticking with these? No. Yeah, I'm out too. Daredevil 3.
Yeah.
If it ever fucking comes out, but there we go.
Yeah, those.
That's interesting. If you read some of the stuff going on, it sounds like it's going to be good. So, Shang-Chi, do you read that? Shang-Chi, do you read those? No.
Pass.
Pass. Or actually, are you picking this up?
No, or maybe because it was not like it's a bunch of the
Yeah, the women characters. There's a lot of characters on the team, so
I might get into that.
Yeah, you said you might. Knights of X, no. Legion of X, no.
Unless they're tie-ins.
Yeah, no. Are you going to continue with this?
Yeah, I'm going to continue with the New Mutants there. If it's still that magic storyline going through.
This is number 9. This is actually before the tie-in issue, which they showed at the start of it. So this should whenever Wolverine shows up, that's always fun. And
Yeah, Wolverine, Spider-Man together. That's always
Fire
money.
Gala tie-in, so that's gonna be cool. I like that. Looks like
Yeah.
suited up too. Any of this, Chris? Venom?
Venom, I'm in. Carnage, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that Spider Punk, no.
Peace.
Yeah, Avengers and Avengers Forever, definitely.
Got the Carol Core here. It looks like they're gonna be making an
Yeah.
appearance in this issue.
Like there, that Avengers Forever needs a better fucking artist. Come on.
Yeah. Thunderbolts,
Thunderbolt,
the
no.
variants, Hulk.
That variance, maybe. That variance is starting to look interesting.
I
And that Phil Noto, I love that Phil Noto art for whatever reason.
I think I'll be reading that digitally if you check it out, because I want to pick up the trade of that, because I do like the sounds of it. I do like Jessica Jones.
That might be a good trade for me too, I think.
Yeah.
I might be getting on board this trade, the trade train.
Nice. For just some of your things, I guess.
Yeah, for this stuff, because I don't think it's going to be like a a blockbuster issues or anything.
Exactly.
But it's a great story.
Exactly. That's what I said. I mean, even if you check in the first issue and be like, yeah, this might be good in trade, and then just drop it, right? That's what I do with some of these things, right, Chris? Yeah, that's cool. No, I'm glad you enjoyed the trade experience. I got you on board.
That's good reading these stories all together. Half the time I forget what happened. You're reading like 10, 15 comics a week when it comes out a month later, especially now with all these delays. You have no idea what's happening in the comic.
Well, that's why I do like having a mix of both personally, because there's certain things that's like of the moment, like the events and like big books like this, where I'm like, yeah, let's pick it up and talk about it as it comes out. But then other things I'm like, yeah, you know what, that's gonna read better in a chunk, and I'll just pick up the whole thing in a trade, right? So but yeah, still on board for Hulk. Hulk's great, and looks like Ryan Otley, the artist, is returning after the event as I hoped. So there we go. No, any of this?
No.
Thor. It really depends on the next couple of issues. I might drop it by this point, so I'm gonna. It depends on this next issue. I didn't love the first issue as much as I'd hoped, so it's not as good as the last Savage Avengers series. We'll see though. It's only one issue in, so I mean, depending on this next one, it's gonna have a lot riding on whether or not I pick this up.
I think losing Conan's gonna really throw a wrench in their plans.
Yeah.
But that Iron Cat, I'm liking it. I'm liking what I see so far from the cover.
I don't know what the hell this is.
I don't know what that wild card is.
This is a good series. I read this in trade, for instance, but I don't pick up the issues. But this is a good series. The first trade was great of Moon Knight, the current Moon Knight series. Jen McKay. No, this is the Ms. Marvel team up series where he took a pass on that. Strange, I'll continue with.
Yep. She-Hulk, I'm down for.
I guess Punisher, I'm continuing.
I'll probably have it.
I'm continuing, but I don't know. I better
get that cover doesn't excite me in any way.
Yeah. Any of this you interested in?
Great covers, but I'm not down for Ghost Rider.
Yeah, me neither. Iron Man,
I'll still be reading.
Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I'm gonna check out Captain Marvel.
Black Panther.
Black Panther.
Thor and Venom fighting after Hulk. Look at this. First you get Hulk, and now you get Venom. That's awesome.
Yeah, I can't go wrong with that. That better be a friggin' Eddie Brock Venom too.
And then we're getting into the Alien and Star Wars stuff, which I'm going to be picking up Predator. I'm going to be trying that out when it first comes, but that's about it.
Some sick Predator covers, but they're just covers, A
lot of hype on this Mandalorian book.
No,
first comic.
Supposed to go through issue by issue, or each issue is one of the episodes.
Yeah,
because they're saying that first one too when the Baby Yoda shows up.
First Baby Yoda in the comics,
big deal.
Yeah. All right, guys. So that's the Marvel previews. That's what you got to look forward to in a couple of months, or maybe 3-4 months. We'll see what happens with that. Let's shift over to the DC previews now, though. Finally, and
big stuff going on in DC.
Yeah. So new setup for this one here. Let me just see here. Okay. All right. And let's see. Let's remove this one. Hold on a second. Okay. Let's see how this goes here. Okay. So Batman 126. Yeah, we're picking that up.
And I want to buy multiple copies. Look at those freaking covers. You got the red one there.
Shout out to this solicitation website too, comicreleases.com, because I know a guy independently does this. So I gotta say, out of a lot of the comic book solicitation websites, this one's really good. So check it out if you're looking for
Yeah, I was looking at one on Games Radar or something. Holy smokes, all the pop-ups and ads in there. You couldn't even figure out what's going on.
That's what I mean. So this one is very good. That's why I wanted to give a shout out to this one, because he's part of the Facebook group I'm part of, a comic group online, and the guy who manages this website and puts this information together, he does a great job. So yeah, Batman, comicreleases.com. So if you guys are looking for solicitations, it's a really great laid out site.
I'll bookmark that for sure.
So yeah, what covers you thinking here, man? This homage?
Oh yeah, of course the homage, the red one. Who knows? Even the freaking swimsuit.
Yeah, some good ones here.
That's a nice one too.
That is a nice one. Yeah, yeah. That one's
even
awesome.
that one.
That's Jock.
You end up playing all it says, unless they're like the 1 in 50s or 1 in 25s.
It might be. Actually, it is. Yeah, 1 in 50 is the Jock one. God damn it. Yeah, so I'm not getting that one. So yeah, but Batman, we're gonna be picking that up. How about this, man? I'm picking this up. This looks good. Batman One Bad Day, the Riddler. It's just going to be the one issue. It's a one issue story here. So this is basically them doing, like I mentioned to you, them doing the Killing Joke, but with different villains. This is the Riddler. Yeah. I'm down for this personally. I think this is a Tom King book. I'm a fan of his Batman stuff.
If it was a slow week and it was on the shelf, I'd pick it up, but I don't know if I'll buy it in solicitations or the pre-order 2 months out.
I would go with this Brian Bull, 1 in 100. Never mind. But if I had the money, I would go for this Brian Bolin cover because that's very cool. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna pick up that cover, but I am gonna pick that up. So then we got Batman Dear Detective #1, Lee Bermejo writing and drawing. Gonna take a pass on that one, Chris.
Yeah, I'll probably pass. Those are some sick covers though.
Yeah, Detective Comics 1063. Look at this. So I think we're gonna be reading this one. That's a cool looking cover.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Then this is the Ram V stuff, right?
Yes. Yeah. So hopefully, this is a good series. I know we're already on board for the first couple issues, so let's take a look and see what happens with that. Flashpoint Beyond, I'll be continuing with Chris.
Yeah, I might try and jump in on this.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, it's the Harvey Dent or whatever her name is.
Yeah. Sword of Azrael, he's back. Who cares?
Okay, I thought it was an actual sword. I didn't know it was a person.
No, it's Azrael from back in the 90s. He took over for Batman after Batman Nightfall, where he broke his back by Bane, right? Or Bane broke his back.
Gargamel and the stupid cat.
Sword of Azrael, Dark Knight of the Soul. So it looks like there's a couple of one shots.
With pushing them.
Yeah, no, I'm not going for that. This actually is collecting, I guess, the backup stories from issues 8 to 10 of Batman Urban Legends. So yeah, they're pushing Azrael back into the forefront. It must be something going on with him, I guess.
Yeah.
This is going to be cool. Deceased.
That's where I'm down for that for sure.
Yeah, War of the Undead Gods. This is actually the last in the trilogy of Deceased related miniseries that have come out. Oh, that's a cool cover. That's neat.
Yeah, I think they're doing the Jim Lee homage there.
Yeah. That's a nice one too.
Yeah.
Cruise. Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to that, man. It's gonna be good. I read the other Deceased. That's gonna be the last installment. That's supposed to be really good. Dark Crisis #3. I think Chris and me may be on board now. I don't know.
Maybe. Fuck. It's 3 months out, man. I wish I could just buy these off the shelf.
Yeah. You got this pencil variant. Yeah, so that's a cool one. All right, so yeah, maybe. Then you got Dark Crisis, the tie-ins. This is a just Green Lantern issue. No. Young Justice. No, that's a series that's going to spin out of this. The Flash. No. Jump in if any of these are.
Yeah, no. I'm agreeing with you there.
The Bell Reeve. What the? It's like Saved by the Bell. What? Bell Reeve. Yeah, no. That's weird.
Yeah. I don't know. That could be something crazy, but I don't know. I'm ready for that kind of crazy. Poison Ivy down for that.
Yeah, you're picking this up, eh? Yeah.
Like even in the issues that come out now, we see Poison Ivy eating a steak. I just think that's great.
That's nice covers for this one, though.
Yeah, I think you got an art germ there.
Oh yeah,
definitely gonna pick that one up.
Yeah. Sandman, the reprinting #1. Detective, the reprinting #1. I don't usually pick those up, but that's cool if you're into that.
Yeah, there's the Harley Quinn.
Yeah, and Harley Quinn is having a weekly event
Fuck,
starting.
these are all great covers too, man.
Yeah. You gonna be picking this up?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Like I think those are the Derek Chu ones.
Oh, like they got like the original
Yeah,
Batman. Yeah, that's
well, I'd
cool.
want to pick up all four of these, but yeah, I
Nice
won't.
covers. Even this basic
Even
one.
the base cover is great. The
Yeah,
main cover is awesome.
that's very cool. So yeah, Harley Quinn's having a weekly event in August.
Yeah, she's going to space, from what I hear.
Oh man, look at these covers. Hold on.
Yeah, they're freaking awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm on board. These old school ones look awesome too.
They look good too, but
Yeah.
if I go by one or two, man, it's not going to be that one, unfortunately.
No. I like the main cover.
Yeah, I like the main covers too. I was hoping I didn't.
That's a cool one. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. And finally, so Harley Quinn 17, 18, sorry, 18, 19, 20, and 21. That's a cool one. Ooh, look at that one.
Yeah, that's a freaking awesome one. I gotta get that one for sure.
Yeah. Well, this is Christine's thing with the Harleys, so I could see her.
No, I think that's the swimsuit one, and that's a freaking awesome one too, with the Killing Joke.
Killing Joke one. Very cool. Yeah, there's some nice ones, man. And then you got an annual at the end of all that. Okay, yeah, I'm on board. I mean, I'm already picking up this series, but
yeah, there's a freaking super cover.
It's a Jim Lee one.
Another super cover.
Yeah, very cool covers.
Fuck.
Yeah. This is actually like the first Harley Quinn event actually within like this weekly event thing. Like that's very cool. So that's very cool. I like that they're doing that. Then you got the Harley Quinn animated series. I like the animated series. I don't read the comic, but I like the animated series. The annual of the Flash, Wonder Girl, Olympus Rebirth. Is this like a out of the event that they're doing?
Yeah, I think the Hippolota or whatever her name is.
Oh, fuck this.
She died and now she's become a queen.
I'm sorry. This is nothing. Nothing about this appeals to me. Some of the God stuff for people for Wonder Woman is like some of the worst stuff about Wonder Woman, to be honest. Like,
they're barking up the wrong tree with that.
Yeah. The new champion of Shazam, #1. I was like, Miss Marvel. Oh, that's Mary Marvel. That's cool. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if I'm gonna.
No. They got the middle cover. That's pretty decent.
Oh, Evan Shainer's doing the art though. I might have to pick up the trade of this then. He's really good. I don't know if I'm going to read this in issues, but the artist has done a Captain Marvel miniseries before. He's really, really good. Okay, and they're coming back with something, I guess, because of the delay of Human Target. They're doing this thing called Tales of the Human Target #1, which is, I think, just a few different artists working with Tom King to do, like, I guess, smaller stories. It's like a one-shot, I think. So, yeah, I'll pick that up. Black Adam, Action Comics, you're going to continue with. Whoa, what's this?
Oh, yeah. Boom. Getting that one for sure.
Action Comics 1046. Yeah, there you go. So that's the Art Germ swimsuit variant cover. Yeah, there you go. Aquaman and the Flash, no. Batgirls, no. Batman Beyond Neo here, no. Batman Superman World's Finest. Yeah, we'll continue with this one. Different artist on this issue, though. Travis Moore. That's a cool cover. Oh, is that a Terry Dodson? Yeah, it is. That's a nice cover. I probably will grab that if that's a regular one. Yeah, it looks like it is. Cool. Got some swimsuit. Got some summer-related covers going on here.
Yeah, I think the August got that swimsuit.
Batman Fortress, Batman Killing Time. This is the last issue of the miniseries. I'll be picking this up. That's been good. Batman the Night #8. That's been very good. Definitely going to be picking that up. Batman Urban Legends, no. Batman White Knight Presents Red Hood. I think we're picking this up, both of us. Yeah. They always got some good covers for this too. Black Adam, no. Blood Syndicate Season 1, no. Catwoman?
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the covers here.
That one's decent.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that one too.
Yeah. Is that Adam Hughes?
That's got to be like a 1 in 100 variant or something.
No, I don't think it is, but there is a 1 in 25 variant cover by Tula Lotte. That might be it, or this one. Oh no, that's the swimsuit variant.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, those are all the basic ones. Catwoman Lonely City. This is the last issue of the series. I'm really looking forward to that. That'll be good. So yeah, definitely picking that up. Yeah. DC versus Vampires #8. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're gonna pick that up. That's a cool cover. Yeah, some cool covers. Whoa, look at that one.
Ooh, that's a nice one too.
Yeah, Then you got the zombie one here. Ugh.
No.
Vampire one, I guess. All Out War #2, DC versus Vampires is the other miniseries that's going to be going on at the same
Yeah,
time.
I'll be down for that.
Yeah, I'm down for that as well. DC Mech, no. Deathstroke Inc. You're going to continue with that, Chris?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, Ed Brisson's the new writer on Deathstroke Inc. It looks like Josh Williamson's leaving. He's a good writer. That's cool.
That's
Nice.
good to hear.
Yeah. Duo #4, Fables returning. I don't know why. Future State, Gotham 16, I Am Batman 12. Whole bunch of no's here. Justice League versus the Legion of Superheroes. No. Multiversity Teen Justice. No. Nightwing 95. Yeah. Ooh. Look at this Thirst Trap cover. I'm getting that one.
We've been putting them out for Nightwing.
Oh, they sure have. Yeah, there's some thirsty looking cover. Ooh, that's a pretty nice one, actually. I like that one. He's the best ass in the DCU, Chris. They gotta represent. We can't just have all this cheesecake for women, right? We need the beef
for everybody.
We need the beefcake, the med beefcake covers. Nubia, Robin 17. I'm reading this in trade, guys. Robin's good. I do like it. Rogues #4 is the last issue. Nice. Definitely gonna pick that up. That's been a lot of fun.
Ooh, Bane.
Scooby-Doo, Superman, Son of Kal-El, no. Task Force Z11, the Jurassic League. Yeah, I think we're sticking with that one.
Yeah, we'll see what's going on.
Yeah, some wacky.
I'm sure they're going to be dumping in a whole bunch of different dinosaur characters.
Sadman Universe, Sandman's not Sadman. Sandman Universe, Nightmare County, no. Swamp Thing, no. Wonder Woman. Are you done with that?
Well, I'll grab some, if there's some decent covers, but
Paul Pope cover? I think it is. Yeah, it is. Very cover by Paul Pope. That's cool. Young Justice. All right. Well, that's it. That's the DC solicitations for the month of August, everybody. We'll definitely be talking about a lot of those things when it comes time to discuss them. All right. And I hope that you like that view of I actually like that. I might have to do that over the magazine for everything. That actually worked out pretty well. Like you got all the covers.
Good with solicitations for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, those are all the solicitations to talk about for the month of August, everybody. Definitely you'll be hearing us talk about a lot of those things on the show that we mentioned. Interested to hear what you guys will be picking up. Let us know in the comments. And let's wrap this sucker up now. What are we picking up next week, Chris?
Looks like it's a light week.
Yes.
I got Avengers Forever 6, Strange 3, Captain Marvel 38, Shadow War Omega, the Justice League Road to Dark Crisis. I have and Dynamite Never Dies 4, and Scorch 6 maybe.
Yeah, because this is like the week for June 1st, so it's kind of serving as like that 5th week almost of comics. Because as soon as you see DC coming out with those annuals, that's when you know like it's probably going to be a lighter week. Because whenever they have like the 5th week of comics in a month, they usually push annuals to that point, and then it's also sometimes a smaller week. Just because instead of spreading it out on 4, they spread it out across 5, right? So I guess with the June 1st, I guess for Marvel Street Day, for DC, it's going to be whatever, May 30th or whatever it is, right? 30th.
Well, I think that Avengers Forever 6 is like a Vibranium Man or something. It's supposed to be like a Black Panther variant kind of floating on the cover. That's supposed to be a big deal.
Okay, I didn't even know about that. So yeah, I got Batman Annual 2022, Firepower 21, small week for me as well. King Conan #5 if it comes out. 4 never was ordered for me, so I might have 4 and 5 to discuss next week if it comes out. So stay tuned for that. That's only a 6-issue miniseries, the last miniseries of Conan coming out from Marvel. But yeah, that should be good. Little Monsters 4, A Righteous Thirst for Vengeance 8, and Strange 3. So yeah, small week for me too. 6 issues. Actually, sorry. So I might read digitally because it's a small week. Justice League Road to Dark Crisis comes out next week, so I might check that out, Chris. I don't know. That's gonna.
I think I picked that up. Like I ordered it back in 2 months ago. And like I said, I'm moving to a new LCS, and I think next week is where I'm starting, where I had to order.
Okay.
Kind of whatever I order is what I get.
Yeah,
So much, and they don't really have much of a shelf there. It's more of a pull store.
Right. And then also Shadow War Omega, was that on your list, or is that another one? Yeah, so that's the end of the event, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I'll check that out as well. So there you go. So all right. So yeah, it's still a smaller week though. It should be interesting, but look forward to hearing about those books on our show next week. And now we've gotten to the point of the show where we discuss our favorite book of the week.
Oop,
What was it for you, Chris, this week?
where did I put it? It's gotta be Hulk for me.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, it wasn't a struggle to figure it out this week. I don't feel anything kind of was it. Hulk was, I think, the first thing I read this week, and nothing ever came close to it.
yeah.
The only
I
thing,
read Spider-Man first.
yeah,
Like I read my books in like two sessions on the first half and the second half. And the first half were all the those ones that I really liked, and they didn't disappoint. And then kind of, I don't know, maybe I was in a worse mood the second when I read my second issues,
right.
or my second half, because they were all just kind of whole hums.
I did say the only other book I think that was close to it for me this week was DC versus Vampires Hunters, but yeah, Hulk is
Yeah, that was a killer issue.
yeah, absolutely. So it was my favorite issue of the crossover so far. So yeah, there you go, guys. Hulk for both of us. It's been a while since I think we both had the same pick, so that's nice once in a while to have that.
Yeah,
All right, so that'll do it for this week, guys. Make sure again, tell your friends if they're into comics, check out the show. We'll see you back next week. Hit that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. And thanks for tuning in.
that's it. Do it to it.
Later, later, guys.